The 1st of November was the much anticipated day for many reasons. Aside from the country's reopening to foreign visitors, it was also the first day schools reopened since the closure in early April. In order to handle the return of children amid thousands of COVID-19 cases daily, as well as being pressured by parents' anxiety, schools require much effort to move back to on-site education. At Rumridi International School, in addition to following public health measures, students and staff are required to submit their ATK results twice a week to activate their ID cards that are used to enter the premises. However, no matter how stringent the measures are to limit the risk of infection, when it is about kids being around each other, it is hard to keep things under control.
So that's probably our biggest challenge is we have almost 1,000 students on campus and we have about 130 teachers. And so we can't hold their hand everywhere they go on campus, but we can do our best to make sure that we're setting them up for success in our activities, in our breaks, our recesses, and our lunches to maintain that social distance as much as possible. Like anything with the pandemic, nothing's 100% guaranteed. Even with the vaccines, it's not 100% guaranteed you're not going to get it. It's not 100% guaranteed that we'll be able to prevent a case happening on campus. However, I think with all the precautions, with the ATK tests, health declaration forms, we scan everyone's temperature with thermal scanners at the gate. We talk to our community frequently. If they're feeling ill, if they're showing symptoms, if they have a fever, they can't come onto campus for 48 hours until after that's subsided. And so I think with all of those precautions, we put ourselves in a pretty good place to be safe day in and day out here on campus.
The endeavor to bring students back to schools is reflected in the government's inoculation program for students aged 12 to 18, hoping to achieve 70 to 80% coverage of students, while 100% of school teachers and staff have been vaccinated against COVID-19. To reopen on-site classes, schools have to take into consideration a variety of factors, such as infection rates in their areas, vaccination coverages, and their readiness to handle COVID-19 risk. Each school must be inspected by health authorities. Children's safety is the top priority, especially when non-vaccinated children aged under 12 are more vulnerable to the disease than those vaccinated ones.
I think it's the world we live in right now. I think COVID's not going anywhere, and as we've seen, especially here in Thailand, they've locked the country down for more than a year and a half. And you know, the last 6 weeks, Thailand's had more cases in the last 6 weeks daily than they had more than the first year. And so it's not going anywhere. I think we have to learn how to live with it and how to most safely live with go ahead and continue our lives with COVID in it. And so we're prepared. If we have a positive case, our protocols are in place. We'll act quickly. We'll make sure that our community is safe. And that's of utmost important. I think the question you asked me before of how we transition back and forth, I think that's what's a benefit for our community. If the 6th grade group has to go home for 2 weeks, the very next day we'll be online and moving forward without missing a beat.
It may take some time for the schools to settle after over a year of absence. However, it is not too much of an expectation when both students and teachers want the face-to-face environment. Still, we don't know if there will be another school cluster, yet we know that we cannot waste any more time to have our children back in school, where they can learn, socialize, play, and have fun.